Yes, before we talk about SADC to conclude due processes on Zimbabwe by June 30, today we are going to talk about Nelson Chamisa. You know, Nelson Chamisa is totally different from other politicians. The way he handles himself, he doesn't try to prove people what he's doing, but he recently posted that an unelected government is unable and incapable of responding effectively to workers' demands. For this reason, an unelected and illegitimate administration is indeed a burden on the nation, particularly the workers. So, Nelson Chamisa is a very, very interesting individual and a very complex and complicated individual. You won't understand him, and a very dangerous man, because when you try to mock a person, and when you try to criticize a person and he doesn't try to prove you wrong or what, and he keeps on doing what he's doing, that tells you a lot about a person. That person is very dangerous. You never know what he's planning, you never know what he's doing. So I really truly believe that he's cooking something, and something is going to happen very, very soon. So today we're going to talk about SADC to conclude the due processes on Zimbabwe by June 30. So SADC will conclude the due process on Zimbabwe brought about by the flawed electoral processes in August last year before their set deadline of June 30, 2024. By June 30 this year, SADC will publicly announce the conclusion of their due process on Zimbabwe in their quest to correct the illegitimacy in Harare. The due process, as you know already, as SADC is dealing with its SADC Electoral Observation Mission, SEOM report on Zimbabwe elections. You remember the SEOM report on Zimbabwe elections says the Zimbabwe elections fell short of the revised SADC guidelines and principles of a democratic elections. SADC on November 16, 2023, following submission by both Advocate Nelson Chamisa, disputed Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa, resolved that fresh elections in Zimbabwe would be fair in resolving the political crisis in Zimbabwe brought about by the flawed elections in August last year. It's one part that many people of Zimbabwe are failing to understand, especially those in the opposition. The opposition in Zimbabwe, then led by Nelson Chamisa, had a solid case after the SEOM report on Zimbabwe elections, backed by their assertions that the Zimbabwe elections were seriously flawed and needed fresh elections to resolve the resultant political crisis. But on January 9, Nelson Chamisa made fresh submissions to SADC, this time asking the regional bloc to facilitate a dialogue between him and the disputed President Emmerson Mnangagwa. You know, Nelson Chamisa is a person who really feels for the people. That's why he takes these kind of measures. When he sees the process is not moving as fast as he thinks, he actually tries to make the situation better for the citizens. That's why he requested for a dialogue. So it's not that SADC was disappointed by Chamisa's January submission, which asked the SADC to facilitate a dialogue in Zimbabwe, is opposed his earlier demand for fresh elections in Zimbabwe way back in September. No, SADC wants peace in a member state, which is Zimbabwe. So is Chamisa. That's why we see him taking these serious and desperate measures, because he loves the people. So SADC goes with the majority. The regional bloc wants peace in a member state. SADC was pursuing their resolution for fresh elections to be held in Zimbabwe, as that was viewed as supported by the majority of the people of Zimbabwe. And the SEOM report on Zimbabwe elections substantially supported this majority demand for fresh elections in Zimbabwe. Similarly, when an opposition leader, Nelson Chamisa, who commands the majority of Zimbabwe, who wants change in Zimbabwe, made fresh submissions to SADC, which sought the regional bloc to facilitate a dialogue between him and disputed President Emmerson Mnangagwa, it simply means SADC had to change course once again. SADC does not play the role of enforcer in troubled member state. The regional bloc plays the role of facilitator as this achieves their goal of fostering a peaceful resolution of disputes in a member state. This is why leaders, both opposition and ruling, in a troubled member state are actively involved in providing solution to their problems with SADC, just as facilitator. Our political science based in Florida, yes, said SADC has had their load lessened by the opposition seeking dialogue with the disputed Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. You see, so this was SADC. This is what SADC would have hoped for. They did their job, which is producing the SEOM report on Zimbabwe election, which correctly said the elections were seriously flawed, failing short of revised the SADC guidelines and principles of a democratic election, and then immediately constituting due process to correct that. Then with all pointers pointing to fresh elections in Zimbabwe after Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF failed to convince SADC that fresh elections were unfair. SADC sets June 3rd, 24 for fresh elections. But when Nelson Chamisa demands SADC to facilitate a dialogue in Zimbabwe, it's welcome relief to SADC. So many people in Zimbabwe who are level-headed wonder why and how Nelson Chamisa flipped from demanding fresh elections in Zimbabwe to asking SADC to facilitate a dialogue between him and the disputed President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Only time will tell why Nelson Chamisa did that. He is a smart man, he is a lawyer, he is an advocate. What I believe, he is best interest of people at heart, and what we should do is to support him. We should stand by him, we should show him some love and hope for the better. So tell us what you think about this in the comment section. Do you really think we really needed the fresh elections or the dialogue? And or the only thing we need is a better Zimbabwe, whether it's fresh elections which brings that, or it's the dialogue which brings a better Zimbabwe. What do you think about that? What do you want as a Zimbabwean? Tell us what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Kindly subscribe, guys, we really appreciate it. See you on the next video. Stay charged.